All right, I'm alive. Glenn, how are you? Saturday wrap. We're talking about double your income. We know how. Or double your rental return. We know how.
Do we, Billy?
But first,
around the grounds. Yes, Billy always wants to jump into Act 2, but you've got to set it up with Act 1 in the theatre, Billy. Around the grounds, Billy, how was leasing today?
I had a really good day, Glenn. I had 3 opens.
Yes.
Now, what was interesting about this is
I'll be the judge of that.
A one better in Freshwater.
Yes.
With a brand new, recently renovated kitchen. But what I liked about this property, Glenn, was it had its own storage room. We don't see that very often.
Not a one bedroom?
Yeah, not a lock-up garage, but its own storage room.
Okay. Was the store, where was the laundry?
Internal.
Do you think the storeroom could have been where the laundry once was?
Potentially, back in the day.
Yeah. So often what people will do is on older blocks, the laundry was outside. You had a room. So we had communal laundries. You know, everyone had their own machine or coin-operated machine. But some developments, you actually had a laundry room not in there. So it could have been that was once a laundry and they put the laundry in. Was it in the kitchen?
I think it was off, sort of separated off into a cupboard.
Yeah. So that's what they do. And that's a really, really good, if you're buying a property or you have a rental and you want to have a storeroom, people will often move the laundry into the kitchen and pick up the storeroom. Surfboards, bike racks, Northern Beach is very active community. How many will be leased on Monday, Billy?
I'm hoping. That one wasn't our pod. So the way we work is we have 3 groups, don't we, Glenn?
Yes.
3 groups under the property management umbrella.
Yes.
But I've just leased one of ours today.
Really?
I didn't open it today, but I leased it today.
Oh, okay. And what was that?
That was number 4/8 to 10 Shackle Avenue in Brookvale. A really nice 1-bedroom.
Right. And what did it go for?
Secure block, $465 a week.
$465.
So the owner was happy. Got a rental increase of $15 from the last tenants. Tenants were super happy. Finally secured a nice place.
And that's very interesting because this time last year, I think we were battling COVID lockdowns. The sky was going to fall, Billy. You were going to be able to rent properties for $20 a week, and you're telling me you just got a $15 increase.
Yeah.
So that would say to me that on the Northern Beaches, properties are renting.
Yep.
It's hard to get a rental as it always is. So it's a good time if you're a landlord. If you're a tenant out there looking, one of the hardest leasing agents in the business, Billy, happy to show you 7 days a week till late, unless he's got a special function that I often don't get invited to, a soiree. All things sales. Well, sales, another busy week.
You've had a couple of good ones, Glenn.
Oh, look, the old dog's still got some life in him. I had a couple of sales yesterday. The lights will be on, Billy. The lights will be on. But 6 opens today, averaging about 10 groups through.
Yeah. A
lot of pre-market that will launch to market next week. Steady prices. One in Brookvale Avenue went under contract at 1.1 million. I know Stev sold one in Rogers Street, Brookvale, as well, unconditional. So Brookvale, great area. Changing Brookvale. When I was your age, Billy, it was very much an industrial area. We had manufacturing there. People had small businesses. There were family homes there. Zoning's changed there. People are building apartments. I think at last count there were 6 micro breweries.
Wow.
There. So people are going out, as you would go wine tasting, they're going beer tasting, which doesn't sound like a bad thing at all, Billy.
Have you tried any of them, Glenn?
No. Look, my days of drinking beers and that are probably gone, Billy. I might be able to get myself up for 1 or 2 occasions a year, but I'll leave it to the kids with the milkshakes. So, Billy, how do I increase my rental return? I've got an idea.
Yep.
How about I rent out the bedrooms one by one? I can become a slumlord, Billy. I've seen that on A Current Affair, and I rent, half the lounge room to someone, and another half the lounge room to someone.
Look,
Is that what you're going to talk about?
It's not a bad idea, Glenn.
No, it's a terrible idea. One,
but I've got something better.
One, in a lot of ways, it's illegal, and two, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
You have multiple people sleeping. You know, that one stage we were in a rental crisis. They had people. One person would come and sleep in the bed, and then they'd go off and do their thing, and someone else would sleep in it. So we're not suggesting anything like that. What are we suggesting, Billy?
Suggesting something very beautiful, like the wonderful granny flat behind us. So as you can see,
yeah. So is this actually funny? You should say that. Billy's actually built this on his home. He's done so well. He's purchased a large luxury home, and he's built a granny. Is that for me, Billy, in my retirement? Fantastic.
It might be.
Oh, fantastic. Rent free?
Oh, we'll have to discuss that, Glenn.
Oh, there's always a catch with you, Billy. There's always a catch.
But as you can see, main house over this side, we'll reverse this side, granny flat at the back.
Right.
And we're going to talk about.
Have we got a better word than granny flat? Probably.
We probably do.
Probably in our Novax thesaurus. Second residence.
Second residence.
Second residence. So
Private suite.
Private bungalow for the pool boy. So a granny flat. What do we need to do? Just general because it's different in every state. It may be different in councils. So I've got a house, an existing family home. Is there any dimensions I need to build a granny flat, Billy? Do I need a certain land size?
There is. 450 meters squared is the total area you need before you can put the second dwelling on the property.
Okay.
But should we start with costs? How much is it going to cost you to build something magnificent like what's behind us?
Well, yeah, okay. We're on my future lodgings. What would be the cost, Billy?
You're looking at about, from some basic research online, between 85,000 up to 120,000.
Okay.
Depending on how you finish it.
Okay.
Now, a breakdown of that is site costs. Obviously, you need to have the extra space before you can put the second dwelling on there. Service connection. We need to run the utilities there, power, electricity,
water. Yep. Okay. All right. Look, probably that's a bit on the light side. I do know the great John Riley in the Crescent DY. We managed one of his properties, put a beautiful granny flat, thought outside the box in the front yard.
Okay.
So he's got it in the front yard. The way the house is set, it's in the back. And he paid about 160,000. It was actually a show home for this company. John's a plumber. And we rent that out to a lovely couple, and very private from the back house, $600 a week.
Yeah.
$600 a week.
A beautiful one in Seabury Street in Manly Vale.
Yes.
That one was at the back of the property, but it was, nicely sectioned off with some beautiful green hedges. So it's very private.
We wouldn't want brown hedges, Billy.
And that was, I think, $635 a week from memory.
$635. Now let's look at those numbers, and I won't. I know it's Saturday, and we're not. It's not a school night, so we won't do too much maths. But to get a $600 a week return in DY with a 2-bedroom apartment, you would be looking at spending $900,000.
Yep.
$900,000, $850 to $900.
Yep.
Yet, utilising the space in your backyard, or in your front yard, or in your side yard, $160,000. Let's say $200,000.
Yeah.
Let's go over the top, and you can get a $600,000 return. A quarter of the price for the same return. So it makes a lot of sense. Okay, you lose a little bit of your backyard, but our relationship to our backyard, our relationship to our leisure time has changed over time. Being a parent, activities are paid for and they're out of the house. Where my mum would say, go outside and play cricket with your brother. Yeah. Now our kids go to cricket camp, cricket coaching.
Yeah.
Go outside and bash your brother.
Yeah.
Now we go to boxing classes or taekwondo classes or MMA classes. So everything's structured.
And the famous Branka Stankovic, who is our wonderful senior property manager here at Novak, or head of property management, she cleverly explained, why would you have a pool in the back garden when you live 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes from the beach that is costing you $300 a month rather than pulling you in 300 a week.
Well, look, pools have a period, a time period with families. Like the optimum time is when your kids learn to swim. That could be as young as 2 years old, up to the age where probably I think in my experience teenagers, up to about 13, and then they want their independence and go to the beach. So you might look at, if you want a pool in the backyard, what to do with it when no one's using it. Okay, so let's talk. We've talked about costs. We've talked about return. Far better return than buying an investment unit if you own your own existing home and you have the space to do it. What are some other things we need to know about second residences?
So the first thing was space. Obviously, you need the space. Check with your local council. Might change might vary slightly, but 450 square meter is the minimum.
Yeah, and I found that that's come down. I can remember when it was 600, square meters 20 years ago. And the reason that's come down is it enables affordable housing. It also enables people to, multi-generations to live on one property in separate lodgings as well. Council may need to approve it. You might do a complying development and bypass council as well. Tax implications, Billy. What would the tax implications
Bit of a voice crack there, Glenn.
Oh, yeah. Look, we're being around all these young kids. My voice is cracking.
One interesting fact. We've got a bit of a fact sheet here, guys. So this is all accessible online if you have a quick look. But one thing that was interesting to me is if you're building it for the purpose of putting your granny in the granny flat, you're exempt from tax reductions and various little things like that.
Okay.
So you need to be generating a rental income from the property to take advantage of those tax.
All right. Then
reductions.
on the same token, if you're generating a rental income, there may be capital gains as well. So when selling it, so when going into this, who would we look at talking to? We might look at talking to a lender to borrow the money to build the granny flat. We might look at talking to council and exactly what we can do, or a private company that do it, and definitely look at talking to our accountant to find tax implications as well. Billy, how successful or easy is it to rent additional accommodation or a second residence?
It's popular, Glenn.
Is it?
It's popular.
Why would you say that?
It accommodates so many people. If if you've got the mother-in-law that needs their own space, you can put them in the granny flat.
Right.
Or if the mother-in-law doesn't want to move completely away but wants their own lifestyle, it's nice to have the option.
And I think, Mark and Burge, they're probably, Mark Novak and Michael Burgio have probably gone into it more deeply on an actual economic or financial analysis. Fantastic rent.
Yeah.
Fantastic rent for your investment. Think of this, 200,000, 600 a week rent versus 900,000 outlay for 600 a week rent. Makes sense. If you don't want that swimming pool, if you don't want that trampoline in the back, if you want to future-proof your family, have somewhere for the kids to live whilst they save up for a deposit, look after maybe an elderly work colleague, Billy, as time moves on. Great way.
I mean, it sounds silly, Glenn, but these new granny flats are a lot fresher, more contemporary than some of the older apartments.
Most definitely. And I think a lot of that has to do with the way we use space now and how clever we can be with space. In my recollection, often like these second residents or second dwellings on the property, moving into them, you felt like a second-class citizen.
Yeah.
Often, the new dwelling that you put on there is better designed, better sort of thought out than the one that you're in.
Yeah.
So open plan, lots of light, and really practical and functional.
Yeah.
And I think they're a winner all the way round. Now, let's talk about a subject everyone, they wait for every week, Billy. People just ring me all week. What is Billy doing on Saturday night?
Well, can we tie this back to an example we've got before we go there, Glenn?
What example?
One example I'd like to give is 145 Willander Road. That's
back to the granny flat.
Yeah. Just quickly, 145 Willander Road. We've got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car house.
Yes.
Now that's 900 a week, but we've also got the granny flat as well, completely separate dwelling. I think that's 350. That's 350 a week. Another 1-bed, 1-bath. So
that's like a studio.
Yeah, like a studio. And so that's offers someone who's got elderly kids but might be saving for a house or someone like that a great opportunity.
I think so, Billy. I think so. Like, if you had a 2-bedroom there, you've lifted your rental return from 900 just for a freestanding home, put in a second accommodation, second residence in the property. You're now earning an extra $600 or $1,500.
Yeah.
$1,500.
It's a lot of money, Glenn.
It's a lot of milkshakes, Billy. Now, talking milkshakes, don't steer me away from this again, Billy. Where are you off to tonight?
I haven't quite decided, but potentially Manly.
Manly's look very dangerous place, Billy.
Beautiful though. There's
I can remember
many...
back in the day around Manly cab rank. Oh, terrible! But you don't get cabs now, do you?
No.
You get Ubers.
Not at all.
But where in Manly?
There's a few good ones. My advice is walk down the Corso and see what.
Oh, bloodbath, Billy! Bloodbath. Don't go. No.
See what tickles your fancy.
You haven't got a favourite, Billy?
I don't go to Manly that much, Glenn.
Really? Don't you live in Manly?
No, I just follow the crowd.
Follow the crowd. All right. Well, if you're looking for some fun tonight,
and
Billy,
what are you up to?
Billy, I've pre-ordered my night tonight. My wife asked what's for dinner. I said, could you make a lovely red curry? So we're going to have, I think, red beef curry tonight and watch Perfect Pitch 2.
Do you have a Thai beer with that, Glenn?
No, I won't be having Billy. We're up early tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're up early. Looks like there'll be a bit of swell on, so we'll be up nice and early. So no beer. I'll leave the milkshakes to you young kids. Don't drink too many, Billy, because what seems like fun on a Saturday night can be fearful with the hangover on a Sunday morning, Billy. It's all fun and games while it's going down, but we have to pay the price on Sunday. And Billy, who often works on Sunday, if you don't want to be sleeping in and lying in bed, you want to be up and at it.
That's it.
All right. Thanks very much for your time.
That's it, guys. That's a little bit on how to make that little bit of extra cash. Look into it. We've seen some really good returns on what we would call a small amount of money up front in terms of,
Well, for people out there with a property that they can build a second residence on and rent it out, I think it's if you want an investment, it's a lot better way than going out and buying an investment property. Downsize, you've now have another family living on your family block. Upsize is the rental return, the flexibility with your family moving forward. So that's a wrap.
That's it. Okay. Cheers, guys. Bye.